Hey, what's up, besties? We're back again for another morning chat. I have another almond milk vanilla latte. I'm actually going to give it a sip, and I chipped my cup this morning. I don't know what happened. I grabbed it from the dishwasher, chipped. There's this stain. I'm a mess this morning. This is the chaotic energy I'm bringing today. I'm already very anxious today. So I have these fidgets, which I'm addicted to. So I'm going to move them around in my hands as I talk, so I'm not like going like this and talking to you like this. Talking with my hands is one of my worst, I'm already doing it, worst habits that I have. Today's is going to be a little bit interesting. I'm going to talk about why I decided not to pursue true crime YouTube, because that was my original niche I wanted to operate in. So going back to like 8th, 9th grade of high school, right? I was addicted to a Shane Dawson, a Trisha Paytas, very like early YouTube roots. The people who were doing mukbangs, talking, and then I stumbled upon Stephanie Sue, who used to eat food while talking about true crime. And at the time, I'm 15. I have no concept of right, wrong, etc. In my opinion, I have a skewed, very flawed concept of right and wrong. Yeah, there's like, don't harm people. That's self-explanatory. But it was like, there was nothing off limits in my brain for some reason of watching someone eat and talk about a heinous crime. So I would watch that for probably till my junior year of college, maybe sophomore year of college. So probably 4 years of just straight watching mukbang, true crime, and just mukbangs in general. I would watch like Nickel Clado Avocado, Shane Dawson, just all these like people telling stories and eating. It didn't matter if it was true crime related. But then I remember distinctly Stephanie started her podcast called Rotten Mango, and I said, oh my goodness, talking very seriously about true crime. This is awesome. I've never watched true crime that in depth. Like, I would watch things with my parents, but never, paid as close attention. I said, oh, this is amazing. You're getting the information. It's factual. It's someone is there telling it. There's emotions involved. She has her partner on there. I said, this is phenomenal content. I watched it probably up until like 2 years ago. And I was like, I really want to, join in the true crime community and specifically report or explain or shed light on an awareness to crimes involving northeastern Pennsylvania, like the Appalachian Mountains area, because being from Appalachia, that was very, very important to me. We have a lot of unsolved murders and mysteries in Appalachia specifically. So that was one aspect of it. And then I said, oh my goodness, Stephanie does a lot of crimes in Asia, in which I'm very interested in Asia-related crimes. There's a lot of surveillance in Asia that they talk about involving some of these crimes. There's a lot of different data privacy laws. Me working in tech, I always think about data privacy over there. Sometimes they won't release offenders' photos due to the data privacy laws in Asia. So I said, what if I did something similar for, Latin America, like Latino America, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, etc. So that was going to be my niche. I was like, I'm going to report on Latino-related crimes and Appalachian-related crimes, because this is where my heart is with all true crime, people who go through tragedy. But these are ones that hit close to home for me, because I am a part of both of those communities. So then I made like 2 or 3 videos, non-Appalachian related. I just decided I'm going to talk about the first 2 or 3 true crime stories that I see in the news in recent weeks, and I'll make those videos. And I made them. And I realized while I was recording the videos, I started to have like panic or anxiousness. I'm just going to be truthful. I'm like truthful on myself. I haven't received any confirmation from anyone. I wouldn't probably like if someone did this to me. I don't know. Okay, if someone reported on my family, I probably wouldn't care. But the fact that I had not received any confirmation or understanding, right? It's all over the news, so the family's probably already overwhelmed. And 3, it is a very serious topic. You don't know, people see all these TikToks and they laugh. They're like, me watching true crime while eating food or doing or doing my makeup or this or that, and they're like, oh, this is so funny. Like they'll like it. They're like, oh, this is so funny. I also eat, play video games, do whatever while listening to true crime. And I remember my boyfriend came to me and he said, you don't think you listening to all of that has like a serious implication on you or makes you feel desensitized? You don't feel weird listening to all these stories and just like laughing about, and not laughing, but like eating? And I said, I haven't ever thought about it. And that sounds terrible. It is terrible. It truly like a reflection of my morals at the time. Didn't understand how serious true crime was. I think most people are desensitized because the true crime industry is just so big. Not to excuse any behaviors, because it is wrong, in my opinion, to be like hee hee ha ha, eating food, doing your makeup while listening to true crime occasionally. But I feel like understanding the importance of it is important. You know, you can do whatever you want while watching true crime. You can, watch it while doing anything. But I think you don't understand the importance until you sit there and actually try to make a video yourself, or you actually think about what they're talking about. You sit there and you sit with it. Because once I started actually thinking through some of these cases and going, oh, he did this, oh, and or he or she, or the person did this, and then this happened, and then their kid was passed away, and I'm like sitting there in my living room like, this is actually so much deeper than people think. And I'm just supposed to sit here and talk about it to a camera. I don't know, something about it sat really wrong with me, with the way that I was doing it. I still consume true crime. I watch it for awareness. I watch it for understanding. It's kind of like I love understanding the human psyche, understanding how people think sociology. I love like social systems. I love all of that. So in consuming true crime, you learn more about that. You learn about the way that people see the world from specific parts of the world. You learn about, the culture in certain parts of the world surrounding all of these different crimes. What is capital, unaliving in one area is not the same in another area. What kind of punishment is received in Asia, in Europe, in the United States, Canada. You learn a lot more than you think when watching true crime, but at the same time, it's very, 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 very serious topic that I just at the time didn't feel mature enough or ready enough to take on and discuss through this sort of forum, sitting here and talking about it and then just going about my day. I feel like I would have a genuine, and I'm going to be honest, I have had panic attacks, so a genuine panic attack or anxiety flare up if I just got in front of the camera right now, told you some crazy story about something that happened involving specifically mortality. I feel like anything involving like a mortality or heinous crime makes me feel a lot worse sitting in front of the camera talking about it, and then just supposed to go about my day and eat some food right after, or I don't know. I just have a lot more feelings now as an adult that I was able to wrap my head around some of these crimes than I did as a teen. And it made making that content nearly like pulling teeth. I was like, I'm no longer in love with this idea of shedding light or being this person. Especially because if I wanted to do it, I know as a person, I cannot. I have still some of the videos up. I want to take them down soon. But I cannot just go about my day. I would need to make it specific content days where I'm mentally ready, and at the same time also I would love to communicate with family members, with individuals, to gain the respect and trust in the community, and with the families of the victims or individuals who have undergo the serious crime. So all that's to say is I don't mean to judge anyone or to put forth any certain feelings towards certain YouTubers, certain, I don't know, stars who are doing true crime. I 100% think everyone is allowed to do whatever they want and say whatever they want and act however they want, and I'm not, the judge, the juror, etc. I just realized for myself I could not do it without having a strong game plan. I was like, I'm gonna have a way to contact families, a forum where people can actually have the video taken down if they don't like it, if they can display that they're a member or know the individual and they don't like the video, they can have it taken down. And I just think there's a way to go about it. And if I were to pursue that content now, which I still do have passion towards it, I still consume it moderately, I would want to do it in a very specific, what I'm calling the right way to me, is reaching out to the families, having a forum that people can submit if they want the video taken down, having ways that people can criticize, critique me, and put in their input, basically, to correct me when I say something wrong. Because the last thing I ever want to is I get something wrong in the video, and people will actually, I've seen this, someone will get something wrong in the true crime community and they'll delete the comments. The last thing I would ever want is just silence individuals who have corrections or anything like that. So it's a very loaded, it's a very heavily loaded, as it should be, part of the internet that I feel like only individuals with the right heart and care and soul should go into, because it's very serious. And I'm not saying that it can't be all fun and you can't have a bubbly personality, which I try my best to have. See, this is a very serious video, and that's why I feel like it takes away a little bit of my personality, because if I'm reporting about something that's extremely serious, I'm gonna not want to be bubbly or be myself. So yeah, this is exactly why I decided not to pursue true crime initially. That doesn't mean I never will, but I think as I mature and get older, there will be more opportunity for me to do things the correct way and have appropriate ways of shedding light on certain communities. I would love to give back to specifically the LGBTQ community. They go through a lot when it comes to crime in Puerto Rico, especially the transgender community in Puerto Rico. I would love to be able to report on crimes that involve that community and kind of give back. I would love to talk about crimes involving Appalachia and give back to that community, because I know a lot of Appalachians suffer with poverty or food insecurity, and it's just my heart is in those areas, see, and I'm able to communicate that, and I would love to be a part of it. I just don't know the right way to go about it. One day it will happen, but that one day I'll be mature enough and I'll be understanding enough. I feel like this was a really big ramble today. I'm so sorry. I love you guys. I hope you can understand my thought process behind this video. It's just kind of me talking about why I personally couldn't pursue true crime in my early 20s. I'm now 26, so I'm old. And yeah, I love you guys. Bye.